Hey everyone, it's Michael Goosebumps Fan. Today is the 2-year anniversary of my channel. I had the channel longer than February 28th of 2020, or 2019, excuse me. I've had it longer than 2019. I had uploaded some videos and I wasn't really happy with them. I took them down, but I really started this channel in general, this Goosebumps Obsession channel, in February 28th, 2019. And here we are 2 years later, 2021. 2020 was insane. So, right now, today, as of today, I didn't see this number pop up until today, but I was looking through different things on my channel when I was getting up questions written down. It has been extremely busy today and yesterday, and I'll tell you why in a moment, just to update you on some things. So essentially today we are at 1,240 subscribers. Originally, this Q&A video I was going to do for the 2-year anniversary and the return I took, well, I have, back to YouTube after 2 months of taking a break because I was just burnt out, really burnt out. I'm not anymore. I feel great. After this big break that I needed, we have hit 1,240 subscribers, which is just unbelievable. I never thought this channel would grow to be the size that it is. This is currently the biggest channel I've ever had on YouTube out of the couple I've had in the past, and I want to thank every single one of you for being here. I don't know what it is about why you guys are watching these, unless it's just a Goosebumps thing. I noticed the Goosebumps community is one of the only non-toxic communities at this current moment. I'm worried about when the new show comes out, if it comes out, but I love you guys. I'm so thankful for you, and I want you to know I pray for you guys all the time as a community. I pray for your well-being and for you to seek after Christ and all these things that I know are extremely necessary, but at the same time, I'm really thankful that you guys are here. You guys are awesome, man. I'm so thankful for you folks. I'm thankful for the folks, not pokes, who comment on the community posts and comment on the videos. I love seeing you guys comment back and forth to each other because you're just fun. You guys are very friendly and kind to each other, and I love that. I love seeing that. It's a blessing on my channel. I think you guys don't realize how much more inviting that makes other people feel, how they want to come and comment on stuff without feeling like they're going to get attacked on something, you know? That's not what this channel needs to be about. So again, thank you guys so much for being here. I'm so stoked for this Q&A. I do want to apologize, on the other hand, for taking like all day long to get videos going to upload. I have a lot of them recorded. I have a lot of them that are in the back of my computer backlog, stuff that I'm going to be uploading throughout the week. A lot of things like Goosebumps videos, if you happen to like those. I know those aren't the biggest videos I post on my channel that a lot of people actually pay attention to. Most people like the Goosebumps stuff. In 2020, I tried to focus a lot on Goosebumps just because we had a big boom of people coming here with the COVID lockdowns and stuff. A lot of people were sitting at home, sad, depressed, thinking about, where did my childhood go? And then they thought about Goosebumps. And then they thought about me when they found me randomly by looking for Goosebumps, because I have like 400 videos and people manage to stumble across me because they come across a lot of the stuff I post. I have a lot of content out there, so I'm glad you guys had something to watch while I've been gone for 2 months. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for a break from the channel. I didn't want to disappoint you guys. I'm glad I was still able to talk to you through community posts because that meant a lot to me. Not to feel like I had just dropped you guys and not really talk to you or communicate with you about what's going on with me, or posting some Bible verses for you guys to be encouraged by. Thank you, every single one of you, for being involved and being a part of my life and my wife's life. My wife is so thankful that we have this here just to, I don't know, just to do something with the Goosebumps books and be able to talk to people and communicate with them. And it seems like this channel means a lot to people who subscribe to it, and I want to thank you again for that. Anyway, getting to the Q&A, I have picked out 12 questions. It has been very hectic. I recorded one big hour-long video before. I'm not going to do that for this video. I'm going to try my best to be short-answered. You know I like to talk. It's not that I like to hear myself talk. Some people accuse me of that, I think. It's that I like to talk, and I like to be very in-depth. I like to be able to give a lot of answers to something, or go off some little tangents and chase every rabbit I can. I'm going to try not to do that this time around. Picked out 12 questions. Today and yesterday were extremely busy. The reason I've taken so long to get more videos up today, like I originally planned to have like about 5 uploads today. I probably still will, but it's going to be a little spread out. I have some things I got to do today. My beautiful wife took care of all the cleaning and cooking and stuff already because essentially we took care of 2 little girls. We babysat 2 little girls that are a really good friend of ours. One of Rachel's best friends, one of my really good friends from high school. We babysat her 2 little daughters, not dollars. One is 4 and one is 3 years old. Or no, one is 4, one is 5, excuse me. And they are just the sweetest kids ever. They are absolutely so sweet, man. So we babysat them, we took care of them and stuff. They stayed over the night, Saturday night and today. Sunday. They left really early. Rachel and I got up about 5 o'clock this morning, so if I seem a little drowsy, or my hair seems even more messy than it usually does, that is why. That is why. We went back to bed by about 8:20. I think they left at 8. We went, got some other things cleaned up and tidied up. We went back to bed about 8:20, and it is currently 1:45. I just woke up about 5 minutes ago, and got ready to go. Tried to get nice and tidied up a little bit in my Goosebumps slappy shirt that my sweet mother got me that I love to death. Thank you, Mom. So here I am. I'm going to start the uploads immediately after I get this one recorded. I have one more to record, and then I have another one later on when I watch a TV episode of a book that I just finished today, or yesterday, a couple of days ago. I finished a book, and I want to do a review on it. But anyway, getting to the questions now that I've rambled for 5 or 10 minutes. I'm sorry for only doing 12. Like I said, this will probably be a shorter thing, and I'll remind you at the end of the video to put your comments that I did not answer at the comment section of the last Q&A announcement video in the bottom of this one, because I'm going to make it a monthly thing from now on, where every time I answer questions, it's going to be at the end of the month, the last day of the month. I'm going to try to stay on top of it. I'm going to try. It will be not one of those things like the Facebook page, where I just stop using it in no time. I will do this once a month, because it seems like people really like the Q&A things. They will be shorter now. They will not be edited, but they will be shorter, where I'm going to write the questions down. I will also start putting them in the description with the little time stamps beside them, so you know what to look for if you want to look for a certain question. That helps out a lot of people. I think I'll start doing that to try to help you guys out some. Anyway, let me get a taste of water before I start doing this. There's a lot of talking in a Q&A video. I got a little bit of a blend of Goosebumps questions and non-Goosebumps questions to try to help you guys out a little bit. Question number 1 comes from Dustin Grimes. Do you think Goosebumps will return to the digital or the original hype? Dustin, I really want to say yes. I honestly don't think it will. I think everything has had its time. I think Goosebumps is not having the fan base it used to. I love the fan base we have, but I don't think it'll ever go to the way it was. Just like I don't think Harry Potter will ever hit a more popular extent than it already has. I don't think there will be another situation for Harry Potter like there was with Star Wars. You know, Star Wars came back for the prequel series like 20 years after it had finished, and it was not popular when it came back. People did not like Phantom Menace after maybe a few days after seeing it. I love the prequels, but it seems like that didn't help anything. Then they were gone, then they came back like 15 years later to make the sequel trilogy, and we all saw how that went, and the controversy that keeps going. People don't want Star Wars anymore, but they like Mandalorian. Mandalorian's high quality, and then they ruined that now because of the particular controversy I won't get into that they've started. Disney hates fans. Disney's buying everything. They hate the fans. Things like Harry Potter, I think they're kind of come and gone. I think they're pretty much gone. I know they had their popularity for their fans, like with the Harry Potter world and stuff. I'd love to go to that. I love Harry Potter. But I will say it's kind of a rough situation. I don't think Goosebumps will ever have the excitement behind it that it has right now. Even for people like my fan, or like my cousin, for example. She's a big Goosebumps fan. She does not buy all the books, does not have all the books or anything like that, but she loves the show, she loves the books, her daughter loved the books and episodes and stuff. But anyway, she does not go out of her way to chase after Goosebumps, but when that new TV show was announced, she freaked out. She was so stoked. She's the one that actually told me about it and posted me the article so I could go and make a video about it and stuff. Thank you, Kristen, if you happen to be watching this video. Thank you, Delilah, for also posting the video, so letting me know. They are super excited about it. They are not going to be extremely faithful to the thing. I'd be willing to bet if the first episode's bad, they will not probably watch the rest of them. It's just how it is. A lot of people are like that. If you lose people on one episode of your show in the first season, doesn't matter which episode it is, it can be the first or it can be the last. If you ruin that, people will not come back. You have to do what Stan Lee always said. I think it was Stan Lee. Every single comic book that came out of Spider-Man, Batman, whatever, even though he didn't create Batman. But my whole point is, every single comic is someone's first comic in the world. And people don't get that you don't have to go through mountains of lore like you do with Game of Thrones or with Harry Potter to really get somewhere. You can pick up a Goosebumps book and get into it, and you're usually pretty set and ready. And that's kind of the shame. People don't realize that. People don't take advantage of that. A lot of people think they've outgrown Goosebumps. And I've seen this over and over again. People come back after hearing me ramble about it at work or something, and they really get into it. Because they realize it's not just for kids. It's funny. It's actually genuinely funny. It's scary. All that good stuff. So yeah, I don't think it'll go back. See, I've already made a long, rambling answer to somebody else's question. I didn't need to do that. Fred Rex. I like Fred Rex. He's a pretty cool kid. What is your all-time favorite horror movie franchise? So if we're talking about like thriller type things. I have two different really categories I go for horror movies. There's thrillers and then there's like monster movie slasher type stuff. If we're going straight up thriller, it's the Saw franchise. I love those movies. I love every single one. They're not perfect, especially Saw the Final Chapter. They're not perfect, but I do love them genuinely to death. I'm so excited for Spiral to come out. I can't wait. If we're talking about supernatural or fantasy or slasher or whatever, Friday, let me try this again. Nightmare on Elm Street. I kept trying to say Freddy and then Nightmare and it became Friday. So, not Friday. Those movies are funny. But Nightmare on Elm Street, I love those. I think they're extremely just hilarious. I love Freddy Krueger. I think he's great. One of my favorite villains of all time. Yeah. Alright, Goosebumps Completionist. Guys, go sub to him, man. I saw the other day that the boy's not even at 100 subs yet, and I was really pissed off about that. There's no reason. He's really good. He's a really good YouTuber. A lot of people are getting their content, viewing and stuff done while I was gone because of him, because he does the same type of thing I do with no editing and stuff. Love his work, man. Anyway, Goosebumps Completionist. Give him a round of applause. For the new Goosebumps show, do you think it will actually come to fruition at this point? No, I don't think so. COVID has killed many things, and Hollywood is one of them. And I'm very, very, very antsy about this. I'm very worried about this. Some people have said that R.L. Stine has addressed this and said that the COVID lockdowns just kind of delayed everything. Once COVID lockdowns are uplifted, or more than likely they're going to shoot in like California or something. If I had to bet money on it, or it might be Florida possibly, because Florida is one of the cheaper places to shoot. Or is it Georgia? I think it's Georgia, actually. Anyway, it's one of those places. One of the places in the South is where Walking Dead would be shot at, for example, because it's dirt cheap to shoot there. Helps with the budgeting. Goosebumps is probably not going to have a big budget. If I had to bet money on it, it'd probably have the same modest budget of The Haunting Hour, if not less. The original show was extremely cheaply made, most of the time. A lot of the bigger budgets went to the bigger episodes, like Night of the Living Dummy 3 and Haunted Mask 2, and they were great. They were absolutely great. I do not foresee it being that kind of success this time around, nor do I see it being something that everybody is excited for. You know, I think there's a lot of curiosity behind it, behind even normies who know about Goosebumps, have not read the books or grew up on it or anything like that. I think there's a lot of curiosity out there. I don't think people are super stoked in the way that we all were when it was first announced for the TV show. Plus, everything gets ruined with politics now. I mean, every SJW in the world is getting hired on everything I like, and they're ruining them. Look at Star Wars, look at Star Trek. They're dead. They're dead in the water. They're never coming back. It's a shame. It's the new plague in movies and books and comics, man. And games, too, for that matter. That's kind of where it started at. So I'm to the point anymore that I don't think it's going to happen. I'm not saying that it's officially not going to happen. Don't call me like that. It's not one of those things like the IMDb page where I got swindled and thought it was real. No, I'm saying that I don't have any confidence that it'll still exist. Because mainly, you have shows like this one show I was talking about in some of the comments I referred to some other people on Goosebumps Completionist video. It's called 911. It's a TV show here in the US. And they were showing like these massive avalanches of rocks falling down hills and stuff. They would have actors over here wearing a mask and some over here in the hallway without a mask and that kind of thing to show their respect for the restrictions and stuff that the government has decided to place on everything. And it gets me because I don't want people walking around in shows with masks. I don't want people in movies walking around with masks. I think it'd be fine to just have movies and TV without masks and stuff for a while. Just to, you know, maybe just wait it out. Hollywood drives me nuts with this. We're getting the Fear Street movies still this year, supposedly. So the production did not shut down last year on that. I don't think they were wrapped and done, all three of those movies, last year during the summertime. So I'm under the impression that they were still filming and everything, even though R.L. Stine says they're going to wait, or somebody said, I'm pretty sure they were going to wait until the restrictions were gone, and then they were going to start filming and stuff. There might be a child labor law thing involved here, too. Maybe that's why they were able to get with the Fear Street stuff, because that's probably like 20-year-olds playing like 15 and 16-year-olds in that show. There might be some kind of children's law thing for child labor laws in the U.S. or Canada or wherever that's preventing them from doing that. So I don't really know. Can't really tell you anything, but I have no confidence whatsoever that that show's coming out anymore. I want it badly, because I love Goosebumps. I love the show. I don't see it happening, man, honestly. And I know you had made a video about it, too. I mean, it's really looking pretty grim right now, honestly. Killin Jim, are you a son of Almighty God? If so, would you mind sharing your testimony about how you became a son of Almighty God? This one I know is more in the religion category. I like this question just because I like to give my testimony when I can, maybe encourage some folks. I think one of the best testimonies you can give as a born-again Christian is your testimony. I genuinely think what God has done in your life or is currently doing in your life, you better make sure he's still doing things in your life. Those are some of the best things that you could ever share with people, and to really inspire them to come to Christ in their faith, or just in general to understand and encourage the body of Christ as it is. If there's somebody who's having a really hard time right now and you talk about some of the things you've been through. So with me, my general testimony, I know this is going to be a little bit of territory people are probably not going to like. You know, I hope that you can either skip over the question or actually genuinely listen. You might listen to something you actually like here, or hear something you haven't heard before. So, Jim, my boy, essentially, back in the day, I was the kind of kid that grew up in a Christian household, but it was very lukewarm in the sense, for a lot of people who don't understand what that means, Christ mentioned at one point in the Bible that if you're lukewarm, which is if you're not hot in the sense of serving him, loving him, chasing after him like we should as Christians, and you're not cold where you just outright deny him, hate him, so on and so on. If you're lukewarm, if you're in the middle, you acknowledge he is God, but you don't chase after him like the God would want you to, but you also just turn your back to him and focus on all these other things in the world, it's not good. It's called being lukewarm. And essentially, I grew up in that kind of household. My family is not like that anymore. They're extremely dedicated to Christ. I think a lot of that, and this is not to make me sound like big-headed, please don't take it this way, but I think once I had gotten saved, I think my family kind of really got invested into going back into church and everything. They had a really hard time because their son, my grandparents' son, my mom's brother, was murdered when I was, well, before I was born. It was 1987. He was murdered, and it was horrible, and they went through a lot of stuff, had a lot of crisis of faith, and looking back on it, I understand where they were in their lives and why they struggled so desperately. That was not my excuse. My excuse is that I was a young kid who gave his heart to Jesus at like 5 and never paid attention to him again. And that's not good. It's not good. Usually at that age, you're not getting saved because you didn't really understand what you just did. You didn't understand the lordship of Jesus Christ, and I did the same thing. I didn't understand that Jesus was God, and that everything I do should be revolved around him, or I should at least be preaching him a little bit out there. I'm still not doing exactly what I should do, but I know that God is my Savior. I know I'm chasing after him. I know I'm terrified of him, because that's a good thing. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, as the Bible says. And essentially, one of the first things that happened to me is I had some curiosity out there like that. Now, I don't remember if this part happened before or after that little worry about why do I even call myself a Christian. I started looking online. Of course, once upon a time in YouTube land, you used to be able to talk about conspiracy theories and some real conspiracies. And YouTube doesn't like that anymore. There are plenty of things that have been proven over the years that are just straight out of fiction that are here and they're real and they're happening. And your government in the US and other governments across the world, it's unbelievable. And I think if 2020 didn't show you a lot of those things, I don't know what to tell you. There were a lot of conspiracies out there that I actually still believe, like the Illuminati, which I really call the New World Order. The Bible seems to refer to them more like that. Essentially, for anybody who doesn't know, you can go do your own research on that. I don't want to get too into that and take up all the time on this question in this video, but I do believe in that. I do believe in that. I do think that's a real thing. I think 2020 proved that in a lot of ways. I won't get into that either. Essentially, I got born again because I started seeing the corruption and the evil around me. The same things that Christ was talking about were going to happen over time in the book of Revelation, some of the books leading up before that. And it really hit me in a weird way. It hit me in a way where it's like your eyes were open for the first time. Kind of like when Saul's eyes were open for the first time and he became a Christian, he got saved and became Paul in the Bible, the book of Acts. I had kind of the same thing. The scales falling from the eyes. I was blind, now I see type thing. And ever since 2013, you know, right before the summertime, I remember, I got saved, I got born again, I got baptized right after, like, I think it was the Sunday after I graduated in 2013. And my life hasn't been the same, because I acknowledge that God is there, I acknowledge that I'm a sinner and a failure, I know I'm not perfect, and you guys know I'm not perfect either. I can't even speak a full sentence sometimes without stuttering or whatever. It's because nerves still bother me to this day. I realize more and more that my heart is not focused all the time on Christ, and that I need to do more to focus after him and chase after him, because he would want that. He would want me to love him more than anything in this world, anyone in this world, and the blessings that he's put on me. I mean, with this channel, and you guys coming to the channel, and then my beautiful, beautiful wife before that, it's just, I cannot be more thankful for the people I have in my life. I have great in-laws that I have good relationships with. I have a wonderful mom and dad. My grandfather's the best man I've ever known. I have a best friend from childhood that I'm still friends with who's a great influence of Christ on my life. I couldn't speak enough about that because he preached a lot of Jesus to me when I was growing up in good ways. Sometimes not even with words, with actions. And that's my testimony, Jim. I just kind of got saved in 2013 because I looked around and I saw what was happening, and the Bible was right. And it's something that terrifies me, but also I have a lot of thankfulness that God did not let me stray too long before that happens, or before the end times come around, if they're not already here in some way, fashion, or form. Yeah. So praise Jesus. Amen. I'm going to move along now, because I've talked enough about my testimony, I think. I don't really have a whole lot that's happened in that first stage. It was a lot of different things happening at one time. Oh, one part of the testimony, too. So right around the time, one of the reasons I got saved, the thing that kind of drew me into Jesus, just one day I had this urge to go to the Christian bookstore. Now, mind you, I've never been to the Christian bookstore at this point. My grandmother would go a lot of the time, the grandmother I lived with, who passed away in 2015, and she would go a lot of the time. And one day we were at one of our favorite restaurants we went to all the time. It was me, my mom, my grandfather, my grandmother. I think it was a Saturday as well. And I had this feeling I wanted to go, just because I had just, I think I was just about to graduate. I had a little allowance money saved up. Anyway, we went to this and I bought like 5 or 6 Christian movies. I love movies. I've always loved movies. And the first one I watched was called The Encounter, and it's here on YouTube to watch for free if you want to watch it. I really think it would make an impact on your life if you happen to be curious about Jesus, or if you're curious about the Bible. Essentially, I think it's like 5 or 6 people are stuck in a rainstorm. They go to a small diner in the middle of nowhere. And there is a particular man who's claiming to be Jesus that's working in the actual diner. Now, mind you, I know it sounds goofy and silly and funny. I love that movie. It has such a great mix of the truth of the gospel. It has such a great mix of just a heartwarming message, but also the warnings of God about hell. It's such a great movie, dude. That movie was the movie that drew me to Jesus Christ. When I saw that movie, by the time I got to the end of it, and every single time I watch it to this day, I sob. I sob watching the movie. I know it's a corny little movie, but it's something about when you have something that is filled with the truth of God, it will affect you. It is going to offend you. It's going to hurt you. It will change your ways sometimes when you really think about it and you really take it in. And The Encounter just blew me away. One of my favorite movies of all time, hands down. I love it. I think it's great. The humor is great in it. It's just wonderful. I really highly recommend it if you haven't seen The Encounter, because that was the movie that night when I watched it. I remember just I'm going to give myself to Jesus. And not that I think that should be everybody's total core from that movie. You need to have your faith in Jesus alone. You need to have your faith in the Bible, and read it and study it. And there's a lot in there, man. I've learned a lot through 2020 because I've had some free time, especially during this 2 months break I took. It helped a lot learning some things in there. Anyway, I think this video is already 20 minutes long. I need to hurry up. Sorry, guys. Question number 5. Gutierrez. I'm sorry, dude. I'm butchering your name. My only question is, what was your first Stephen King book? So I read Misery in middle school because I loved the movie. I grew up on that movie. My mom showed me the movie. Love that movie so much. I think I like the movie better than the book, but the book is really great too. There's some big changes in that book, well, in the movie compared to the book, that are completely different and are worth reading and watching both. So, Misery. And then eventually, years later in 2009 actually, summer 2009, I actually got into horror stuff. Or it was the summer after 2009. Yeah, it was like the summer of 2010, something like that. Anyway, I picked up Pet Sematary, and I read that. I wasn't a big fan of that, but I read Bag of Bones, which is one of my favorites of all time from Stephen King. It's the most romantic book I've ever read in my life. You should check that out. It's so sad. Such a good book. Long book, but a great book. My boy Ryan Wequ. Do you like Monster Jam? If so, favorite truck? I'm a Megalodon fan. So I am a monster truck fan. I'm not a massive fan. I'm more of a normie, As a normie, I have a duty to love Gravedigger, because that's the coolest monster truck that's ever existed. Megalodon's cool. I love in monster trucks they have different Marvel characters. They had the Hulk, and they had the Wolverine where the claws went over the hood. That was pretty sick. They had some awesome monster truck rallies back in the day here. I think they still do sometimes. I don't know about in 2020 or this year, but I love Monster Jam, dude. That was great stuff. I remember when you could still watch it on TV and stuff too. It was so much fun, dude. I don't even know if it's still a thing anymore. I guess it is because Ryan's asking about it. But man, it was so cool seeing stuff like Gravedigger. I love that 80s vintage horror book cover that's on the side of that thing. It's so sick with the graveyard looking thing. I love the neon on that truck. All of it. I love all of it. Wasn't there another one called Son of Gravedigger that Gravedigger's driver's son did? I don't remember. Anyway, Charlotte Mcfall. Do you write your stories in notebooks first or just type up on computer? I used to just do the notebook thing. And Of course, that was mostly with my poetry books, because I could just get the poem out and have it done, then eventually type it up when I'm ready to get the book ready to publish, or self-publish in this case. And the last big short story collection I've been talking about to you guys a lot about trying to get that book out there, the one inspired by Alvin Schwartz, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, that was also entirely written in a notebook. Some other stories I kind of eventually just moved over from other notebooks to that computer file. Right now, a couple of different books I've been working on, including the new Scary Short Story collection I've been working on, is just computer only, because I think that that's relatively safe. The big fear that I have is ever writing a big novel, like a big 75,000 average size novel, and coming to the computer like Travis McBee did one time, and the computer's lost 50,000 words. And that's like a big chunk of your book, dude. It's like 90% of your book almost. That's terrifying. It scares me to death every time I think about it. So I'm a little hesitant about doing computer only, but if you do computer only, you're skipping a lot of the steps you'd have to do if you had a book that you wrote in a notebook and then you're trying to transfer it over to the paper. If you have the time or you're a hobby writer, I think it's fine. I think it's really easy to go that way. For me, I kind of prefer the notebook because I like the texture and the feel of the paper. There's something about writing directly to paper versus digital words that you can delete and on command, basically. There's a big difference there. I don't know what it is. Might be psychological, but I love the notebook thing. But the computer's having to be my thing right now because I'm trying to get more books done to possibly publish at some point if anybody ever picks up the book, which I'm having a really hard time on. I'm really getting irritated with that. Alright, Goosebumps Godzilla, who's another big Goosebumps YouTuber out there. He's mostly a theory YouTuber, and I really like that. If you like theory videos about Goosebumps, he and In Closet Goosebumps Fan are your people to go to. He says, would you like to have a Goosebumps Lego set? Which book would you want the set to be based off of, and why? Which monster figures would you want in it? I would love to see one of You Can't Scare Me. I know everybody's average answer would be like Ghost Camp, and it would be Slappy stuff and that kind of thing. If I could have either one of the Night of the Living Dummy 3 TV episode, like Attic, with all the dummies in there, I'd love to have that mainly. But if I can't have that, I think I'd love to have either a Haunted Mask one or a You Can't Scare Me figure set thing of like the muddy, swampy area that the mud monsters are in. I don't even care if I get a human character, I just want the mud monster. It's all that matters to me. I love those 3 books. I think they'd all be great for the different toys you could make out of that. I think Goosebumps would be great for Lego. Why have they not done that before? That'd be killer. I mean, they get licenses to things that have been dead forever. They still make like Lego City Police and Firemen and stuff. Why are they not making more other properties? Like they've made Star Wars for like 50 years now. I don't know. But I would love to have the Goosebumps ones. Even with the Haunted Mask one, you could do Haunted Mask 1 and 2 because some of the same locations are in both of those episodes and movies and books. Anyway, moving along. Let's see. Canada's biggest Goosebumps fan. That's another YouTuber out there who's been reviewing a lot of the books. You guys should check her out as well. She's really fun, cool YouTuber. Really like her content. I don't get to comment on it a whole lot because I don't really watch as much Goosebumps YouTube as I used to. I try to listen to most of the guys that I watch on my work day. But she has a really cool background. She has like every book. Not all the Goosebumps YouTubers I watch have their books behind them, which is kind of cool when you can do that. I don't do that myself. But the people who do that, it's pretty neat to look at the books all the time and see all those colors, man. The colors on the spines of Goosebumps books are what make them stand out from everything else out in the world. Anyway, Canada's biggest Goosebumps fan. I really honestly recommend her. As a fellow Goosebumps channel that is doing some similar content, but only has about 120 subs, you went from 0 to 1,000 plus. Was it gradual or a big jump after a certain video? What did you experience and why the surge? So, two big things that helped my channel. The COVID situation really blossomed the channel out big time. Essentially, the channel jumped like a whole 1,000 subscribers almost, like from that. I think we were at like 600 or 700, somewhere in that ballpark, I believe, and then COVID came through, and the numbers exploded, dude. And again, like I said in the earlier part of this video, people were at home, they were thinking about their childhood and how much they missed certain things, and they got sucked right back into Goosebumps again when they thought about that all of a sudden. Or if they watched some Goosebumps with their kid and they were like, this isn't half bad, and they start looking at books that they loved, or whatever. Another big thing that helped me, on the other hand, is the Goosebumps news stuff, the segment I do every once in a while. When there's more Goosebumps news announced, I get a lot of views on that. Number one, they're shorter videos that I make. Number two, people love hearing new Goosebumps news. They do not always follow through and buy the books or watch the movies or anything like that, which is fine, but they love hearing the curiosity of what's happening in the community, what's happening in the media for Goosebumps, and that's a big seller. When the new TV show was announced, I think I have like a couple of thousand views now, I believe, on that particular video. And I think that video in general it was a big seller. When it first hit, it hit like 1,000 in a couple of days. It was a big video for me. When I did that, I was getting tons of new subs. As soon as that new series was announced, people were going online to look up tips and thoughts about it and updates and questions and everything. I think they still are, because the video is still generating constantly new views. I don't know how many thousands of views we have on that, but we have quite a few from what I see. So that's pretty neat. I think it's 2,000 new views in total, I think. Anyway, that's what really happened to me. What I would really recommend to you as a smaller YouTuber, get as many videos out there as possible. Make them all quality, at least in the sense that you want. If you're going to edit, do good editing. If you're going to do just no editing, like I and Goosebumps Completionist do, try to make the video fun. Try your best to limit ums and ands. That's a really big problem that I struggle with to this day. I'm trying to get better about it. I used to do public speaking in school, like classes sort of kind of for that. I did theater in school too. So that kind of helps me a little bit. I've had some practice to mentally try to stop that. When I'm tired, I can't help it. It just slips out all the time. It's done it in this video a couple of times too, where I just woke up a little while ago. Anyway, so I really recommend having a lot of videos out there that are quality, at least in one sense or the other, of editing and non-editing, because people will be drawn to that. People will be drawn to the entertainment factor, I think. I don't know what's entertaining about my videos. Maybe it's just my weird quirkiness. But there is some of that there, I think. People do look for fun personalities for anything. People watch game shows still, like Alex Trebek type stuff. It's not always for the games. The games get old after a while. It's usually for the personality and the curiosity of what a new person has done. In this case, what new books are like that they haven't read or even heard of before, especially with the newer Goosebumps. People don't even know that exists. You'd be surprised how many people I talk to that love and grew up on Goosebumps and do not know about Slappy World. I actually came to Goosebumps again in 2018 when I had my back injury. I had not heard of Slappy World. Huge Slappy fan. Lifelong Slappy fan. Favorite monster of all of them. And I will tell you right now, I was in shock when I found out that Slappy World was a thing, and I had missed like 4 books. I think Ghost of Slappy was the next one to come out. Is that 5 or 4? I don't remember. There was like a 5th book getting ready to come out. I think Ghost of Slappy was the one that came out, that I got into Goosebumps again when it came out. Or was getting ready to come out, because they were about to do a big 5-book box set, and I was shocked we were getting a Ghost of Slappy cover. I remember being in absolute shock over the cover. Anyway, that was about the time I did that. Goosebumps news, having a lot of videos out there, a lot of content. I think right now I'm at 400 videos in 2 years. That's a lot of content, dude. That's a lot of uploads. I know people get sick of that sometimes, but it's nice to have that out there for people to have something to watch, people to not forget your channel, or whatever. But right now, Canada's biggest Goosebumps fan. I think you're doing really well. I really like your content when I watch it. I'm kind of all over the place right now. I'm really hectic. But nice setup. Nice setup for your videos. People like background stuff. That's one of the things I'm having a problem with my background. In this apartment, I do not have, like, my books, even my regular books, like Stephen King books and stuff, behind me. If I had a house one day, God willing, I'm going to put my books behind my camera. Or behind me. It's the camera right here, not that way. But still, moving along. Thank you for your question. Number 10 is Emptybat 6777. What's your opinion on Willy's Wonderland, and would you review it on the channel? I can tell you up front, I will not review it on the channel. I kind of thought about it because it's kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's. For anybody who doesn't know about this, it's a new Nick Cage movie. Five Nights at Freddy's was, of course, the very famous video game about animatronics in a Chuck E. Cheese type setting coming to life and killing people. And for some reason, that has become a kid's fascination. That's everywhere for kids. Kids love Five Nights at Freddy's. I did not realize I was going to become a Five Nights at Freddy's kids obsession culture out there. That will be their Goosebumps, more than likely. And I'm hoping Goosebumps, the TV show, takes off before those kids are too old, because they're going to want that, because they grew up on Five Nights at Freddy's, which is more terrifying than Goosebumps ever has been in a lot of ways. Personally, I'm not the biggest Five Nights at Freddy's fan. I love it, though. Does that make sense? I love the board game they made with the jump scare thing. That is so scary. I love that game so much. I want to review that on the channel sometime as a Things Like Goosebumps video in the future. But it scares me. It's really creepy. You should play that game if you haven't seen the videos of people playing that. It's really cool. Anyway, I read the first book, Silver Eyes, and did a review for that here on the channel. That was pretty cool. This movie, Willy's Wonderland, is kind of like that, but it's like Nick Cage being a silent, tough type, killing the animatronics. This movie has been slammed in the last couple of weeks with bad reviews, and I'm really shocked by that. Not that I pay attention to that, but even the people that I love on YouTube, like Sinister Cinema Reviews, has hated this movie, and I don't get why. Red Letter Media did a video on it the other day. I'm shocked about them hating that. I think it's going to be right up my alley. I don't know. I'm really stoked to see the thing. I hope it's really good, or at least something I'll like. I'll probably be making a video at some point because the Five Nights at Freddy's movie just looks like it's never coming out. I really want it to come out. Again, like Goosebumps, it seems like it's never going to happen. So, I don't know. I think I heard that either Willy's Wonderland or the Banana Splits movie, which is kind of like the same thing as Five Nights at Freddy's and Willy's Wonderland, I think I heard that they were both based off of rejected scripts for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. So, I'm not really sure if that's true or not. If it is, then it makes sense with those two. But, you know how that goes. Anyway, Austin Smith. I think Austin Smith is also the YouTuber called Monster Blood. I could be wrong about that, but I think he is. Anyway, I think he does book reviews for Goosebumps and some other things like Stephen King stuff. If it's the same guy I'm thinking of, he's really cool. I really like his work too. He says, have you read much HP Lovecraft or Edgar Allan Poe? If so, what would be some of your favorite stories by either of those authors? So, I gotta be honest, I love certain things and certain aspects of both of those writers. I'm not the most dedicated fan to either one. Edgar Allan Poe. You cannot go wrong with The Raven, and you cannot go wrong with Telltale Heart. They are two of the scariest stories and poems ever written. One's a poem, one's not. I think Telltale Heart is an actual short story. Poe is fantastic, but he's too literary, and that's my big issue with him. I do not like his other stories that much. I love his poetry. His poetry is beautiful, in my opinion. I really, really like his stuff that I've enjoyed. His stuff that I have not liked has been boring and dull, and I can't stand it. I tried to read his one novel, and I got burnt out real quick. I'll try to reread that sometime and review it on my other channel where I review like adult books, like I think the channel is called Mr. Wildboy 94. That's what it is, Mr. Wildboy 94. I keep forgetting my own channel names because I have so many. But I want to talk about his novel sometime on there. The short stories are very wish-washy in my opinion. He's too literary. He's trying to be like meritful, and I don't really care about that. Whereas HP Lovecraft has the most verbose and boring prose I've ever read in my life. I know a lot of people don't agree with that. I do admire about HP Lovecraft, though. He is creative, but he also has an interesting setup to some of his stories. I can't remember which one it was that I recently read. There was like a little box that would bring things into possible dimensions and open up certain dimensions and realities. He didn't know if they were demons or whatever that were coming through there. That was a really good story. I really liked that one. There's some other good ones like The Cave, I think is what it was called. That was just fantastic. The ending shocked the crap out of me. However, it's his writing style. When H.P. Lovecraft, very much like Stephen King, is writing a short story, like a 5-page story or a 7-page story, he's on the ball, dude. He really kills it. When he's doing 10 and up, he is boring sometimes. Really boring, and it really kills me. I don't say he's on the literary merit aspect of his stories. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. I lean more towards, I think he's trying to be verbose to try to sound more intellectual than most people, whereas I think Poe was actually smarter than Lovecraft, in my personal opinion. That's just reading their work. Editors are a miracle, aren't they? So it's possible they were not one or the other. I admire both. One of my favorite things about H.P. Lovecraft is that he basically writes the same story all the time, where I've been working on these short story collections that I write, or trying to get published, and I'm currently writing. I love the fact that I could get away with the same thing, hopefully, that he gets away with, of writing the same story and the same setup for every story every single time. I like that a lot. I admire that. I don't know how anybody else could ever get away with that. Even Poe couldn't get away with something like that. Anyway, that is Lovecraft and Poe discussion. That's it. But I would recommend Telltale Heart and The Cave and The Raven. Great stuff. Really great stuff. All right, last question is from Steven Chavez, who comments on a lot of my stuff. Thank you so much, dude. I appreciate all your love and support on pretty much every video I've ever put up. All right, do you like the Sonic the Hedgehog series? I think you all were expecting a Goosebumps question. I think he asked a couple of Goosebumps questions, but I really thought this would be the best one to kind of end the video on. So, I have a weird history with Sonic. Somebody else asked in one of the comments. I did not choose for the video because I wanted to keep it shorter, but you saw how that went. Sorry about that. I'm going to try to keep it to 10 questions, I think, each Q&A now. Stephen Chavez said the Sonic the Hedgehog question. So Sonic the Hedgehog, I had actually never played any of it at all until about a few years ago. I think it was about the time I had my back injury, maybe right before that. I started buying those handheld game systems you can buy from like Walmart for like 20 and 30 bucks. I love those things personally. They have the ones that are like rip-off games of other NES and SNES games from back in the day, like the 80s and 90s. I love this stuff. I absolutely love it to death. I love those handhelds. I love the retro new Genesis consoles and stuff that you can buy, the retro Atari consoles. I got into everything I know about old gaming because of those things. My first ever console that I had, from my knowledge, was a PlayStation 1, and I loved it. Now, anything that came before that, I didn't really know anything about it. I didn't know anything about Sonic the Hedgehog. I think there were some Sonic games on PS1, but I don't think I ever got them. I was very selective about what I got. I got a lot of Star Wars games for PS1. Still have them. There's one that's like, it's like Rock'em Sock'em Robots, but it's like a really cool version of Rock'em Sock'em Robots that I love to this day. The designs for the monsters are so cool. Rescue Heroes, I had a PS1 game of that. Never played Sonic the Hedgehog until a few years ago, like I said. And this particular handheld I had of this small Genesis console had the first 3 games, and it had a couple of other things that were Sonic-based, but I don't know what they were. I don't think they were the typical obstacle course running things. I think one of them had Knuckles on it or something too, which is one of the characters in that world. The new movie just came out. It got a lot of reviews. I love the first 3 games. I haven't played the other ones that much on that handheld console, but I love those first 3 games. I'm terrible at them, but it's one of those games like Fallout 3 that I'm terrible at, but I love. I absolutely love them. They're so colorful and fun. One of my favorite things is the more that Sonic picks up speed, the more he just flies through the thing, man. If he goes in one of those circle loop-de-loop things, he goes so fast, dude. I love it. I love it. It's so good. I cannot wait to watch the movie. My wife got it for me for Christmas. We found it at Kroger for like $5, and I was like, how? How is that possible? It just came out last year. So I have the DVD. I want to watch it really bad. I might even do a video on that here on the channel. I know it's not a scary thing or a thing like Goosebumps, but it is kind of a kid's thing. I guess if there's any scarier aspects to it, it might be worth talking about. I mean, it's kind of like a reality versus, or a reality meeting fantasy video game type of setting. It's kind of like Goosebumps having the more humorous books out there, so it might be worth talking about here on the channel at some point. I know you didn't ask that, but I'm going to tell you that. I don't know. Let me know what you think about the Hedgehog stuff down in the comment section, guys. I'd love to hear all that down below. Sonic the Hedgehog's games, those first 3 are really great. I love watching Game Grumps and their old videos, like when JonTron was still around too, when they would play like the, what is the one Sonic game everybody hates? Sonic 05, I think is what it is. Sonic 2005, whatever that title is. That one's horrible, and it's so much fun to watch them play that broken game. You haven't seen the Game Grumps video of that? You should. You absolutely should. It was great. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up the 2-year anniversary Q&A. I want to thank you guys again for being here. Originally, I wasn't going to do this Q&A and just do it as a... It looked to me like it was going to be a 1,250 subscriber special Q&A before it was a 2-year anniversary special. Then I went on my break. I was really close to either one. I didn't really know what to do. This is going to be a 2-year anniversary video. Thank you again for being here. I am so blessed to have you guys here. I love answering your questions. And again, like I said earlier in the video before I started answering questions, like 30 minutes ago, I believe, if you did not get one of your questions in the last comment section asked, and you want to ask them again in this comment section for the next Q&A I'm going to do at the end of next month, on the very last day of next month, in March of 2021, let me know. I will jump onto that. Try to possibly answer them again. I'm going to do about 10 questions a video. Try not to have such a long introduction next time because, you know, there's no reason to. This was an update video for the first time coming back. You needed to hear some stuff. Wanted to let you know why it took so long to upload some things. Anyway, thank you so much for being here, guys. God bless you. I'm so thankful for you being here. Every single time that I get to make a video is an absolute just privilege for you guys. Or privilege for me to you guys. That came out real wrong. I just like making videos for you guys. I love having the audience here to talk to about Goosebumps and things like Goosebumps. There's a lot of stuff I want to tackle in 2021 on the channel. A lot of stuff. I want to get a big chunk of Goosebumps books done, if not all the classic series. I have about 20 books, somewhere in there, left of the original classic series from the 90s to review. I want to kind of tackle those and get them out of the way this year. Maybe finish all the classic series, do a big ranking video on just those, and I don't know. Don't get me too quoted on that. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'm really stoked about it. God willing, I'm going to have a lot of plans for this year. There's some things I really want to talk about in the world of things like Goosebumps. For example, Disney's been releasing non-stop these new books that are like Disney character villains going after like middle grade kids, and it sounds awesome. I want to read those. I've heard really good things so far. There's like 5 or 6 of those now too, so I want to pick those up sometime in the nearby future. Plus we have Monster Blood is Back coming out in like 3 days. Can you believe that? That's pretty cool. Or is it 2 days? It might be like 2 or 3 days, something like that. It's about to come out. I haven't even ordered a copy of that yet. We have the Werewolf of Fever Swamp that's available for pre-order right now. That's about to come out. That's not a Werewolf of Fever Swamp, but it's a sequel to that. Not even a sequel, but like, you know what I mean. It's in that world. Has to do with the werewolves and stuff. It's a comic series from IDW, which they have not fared well with me. The last one was okay. Something about the Curse of the Witch House or something like that. I've reviewed all 3 of their comic book things out there on my channel. I do think that I want to get my order in for that. However, interestingly enough, it is not going to be in hardcover this time. It's only available in paperback, which kind of took me by surprise a little bit. I did not expect that. But there are a lot of things like that I want to talk about this year. A lot of my friends that watch the channel that are putting out new books and stuff this year, too, that I want to check out. I think Fried Vision came out with a couple of new books, too, I believe. I've only read the first one, but I want to read the other ones. They're really good. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being here. Please stick around through 2021. I hope it's a better year for you. I know a lot of you guys and everybody in the world are having a really tough time because of 2020 and trying to recover from 2020 and all the hecticness of that. Some places they're not even recovering yet because of what's happening. So anyway, thank you for being here. I hope that the question about my Christ and my Savior is not too in-depth or too offensive or anything. I hope that it inspires you to want to chase after Christ. And I hope that you know Him, because I'm thankful for you guys being here. There wasn't a reason that you guys were not brought here. There was a very good reason you were brought here, I think. And I'm thankful to have you guys here. I'm thankful you guys are commenting and talking with me and stuff. Thank you for watching this long video. I'm going to stop rambling now. May the Lord Jesus Christ bless you guys today. Hope you enjoyed the Q&A. I'm sorry it wasn't longer or shorter for that matter. Anyway, thank you for watching. God bless you guys, and goodbye.